Hello children, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well. In this video, we are going to start with the next chapter in science, that is substances around you, their states and properties. Now, if you will look around you, there are so many different types of substances present. So, in this chapter, we are going to study about the states and properties of these substances. In this video, we are going to study about the state of the substances or the change of state of different substances. And in the next part of the video, we will be studying about the properties of these substances. So, let's start. So, children, can you tell the different state of substances? Yes, there are three states of substances, that is solid, liquid and gaseous state. Now, tell me what happens when we keep the ice outside the refrigerator. Yes, it starts to melt, right? That is, first it was in solid state and then it got converted to liquid state. Now what happens when we heat the water? It gets converted to vapors. That is, from liquid state, water is converted to gaseous state. So, when a substance changes from one state to another, the process is called change of state of the substance. Let's look at another example. We all have seen pieces of wax, right? It is in solid state. And when we heat the wax, it gets converted into liquid state because the wax starts to melt. And after that, if we keep the wax aside or in cold water, the melted wax is again converted to solid form. So, this is called the change of state of the substance. That is, from one state it is getting converted to the other state. Now we all know that water when cooled gets converted to solid form and when heated gets converted to gaseous form. In the same manner, there are many substances around us which change their state when kept in cold or when heated. The state of a substance changes if it is heated or cooled. The substances around us are either present in solid form, liquid form or gaseous form. Let's learn the physical state of the substances. First is solid. Now, solids like iron or a piece of wood, if we look at them and touch them and try to squeeze them or throw them, we can know that they have their own shape and they do not retain any other shape just by squeezing or keeping it anyhow. They also have a definite volume. Also, solids like sugar and sand, when poured on a flat surface, they form a heap. Next is liquid. Now, liquids like water, spirit used in spirit lamp or oil. Now, when we add water from the bottle to a glass, the water takes the shape of the glass. Same happens with oil or any other type of liquid. So, liquids do not have specific shape of their own and the liquid takes the shape of the container. Now, liquids have specific volume. Also, when we pour liquid on the ground, it starts to flow downwards along a slope. Next is gases. Now, gases like air. Now, air is present everywhere. So, air do not have any shape of its own and it occupies whatever space is available to it. Also, air do not have a definite volume. Let's now study more in detail about the change of state of the substance. Let's see the effect of heat on the change of the state of substance. So, the change of the substance or the change of the state of the substance is because of the amount of heat in it. That is, on gaining heat, solid substance changes into liquid form, and from liquid form, on gaining heat, it converts into gaseous form. On the other hand, when the substance is cooled or when it loses the gained heat, it changes from gaseous form to liquid form and from liquid form to solid form. So this means heat do play an important role in the change of the state. So we came to know that the change in physical state is determined by how hot the substance becomes on gaining heat or how cold it becomes on losing heat. But how do we tell how hot or how cold a substance is? So to determine how hot or how cold a substance is, we can find the temperature of the substance, and the temperature of a substance can be measured using a thermometer. Nowadays, there are several types of thermometers available, and usually we use a digital thermometers in these days. The unit for measuring temperature is degree Celsius. In a thermometer, the bulb is present at the lower end and is filled with mercury. There is also a minute tube attached to the lower end of the bulb, which is called as the capillary tube. Next to this mercury column, there is scale, which is written on the thermometer. When we keep the thermometer in hot or cold substance, the mercury level changes, and by reading the figure near the level of the mercury tells us the temperature. This is how we determine the temperature using a thermometer. When we keep water on a stove or burner, it gains heat, and the heat is gained in levels. That is, first the water gets heated to some degrees, example 20 degrees Celsius. Then it gains more heat and reaches to a temperature of 50 degrees Celsius and so on. Then when we see water bubbles rising, and it rises at a faster rate to the surface, the steam or the vapor starts to be seen, and the steam mixes with the air. This is called the boiling of water or the boiling point of water or ebullition. The boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. So when water reaches 100 degrees Celsius, that time we say that the water has attained boiling point. Now when water vapor starts to cool and is converted back to water again, this is called as condensation, and condensation of water vapors also take place at 100 degrees Celsius. So we can say that boiling point and condensation point of water are same, that is 100 degrees Celsius. So boiling point and condensation point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Now, when we keep water in refrigerator, the temperature of refrigerator is minus 18 degrees Celsius. So when we keep water in refrigerator, the water temperature falls and it becomes cooler and cooler. At a temperature, the water cannot get any cooler and it starts to freeze. That is, the water starts to form ice. The temperature at which it starts to form ice is called the freezing point of water. And if we will measure the freezing point, it is 0 degrees Celsius. So, the freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius. That is, when the water starts to freeze, to form ice, that time the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. Now we saw that water when starts to freeze, that is it starts to form ice, is 0 degrees Celsius. The temperature was 0 degrees Celsius. But what when ice starts to melt? That is, it gets heat and it changes from solid to liquid state. So if we measure the temperature of the melting ice, it is 0 degrees Celsius only. That is, the ice melts at 0 degrees Celsius. So the freezing point of water and the melting point of water is also same. That is 0 degrees Celsius. So children, we learned two things. That is, the temperature at which the substance boil while heating is same as the temperature at which it condenses. So the boiling point and condensation point of water was same, that was 100 degrees Celsius, and the freezing point and the melting point was also same, that was 0 degrees Celsius. Now children, here we have taken few iodine crystals and we are heating those iodine particles. When we heat those iodine particles, we find that the iodine crystals or the particles gets converted into gaseous state directly. And after cooling down, it forms into crystals again. That is, when you switch off the burner, these gaseous particles have been converted into the iodine particles. So that means these iodine particles directly gets converted from solid to the gaseous state and it is skipping the liquid part. So instead of getting converted into liquid state, these particles directly get converted into the gaseous form. So such substances which changes from solid state into the gaseous state or the vapors without first changing into the liquid form, this form is called as sublimation. So in sublimation, the solid substance directly gets converted into the gaseous substance. I hope you all understood. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.